now is the time for you to tap into that main character energy. Okay. That's what I'm tapping into. Like, I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of, always waiting for other people to do things with me or feeling like, I need to wait until I feel ready. Like I'm over that season of my life. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Welcome to season 3 of the podcast. I'm so ready to dive into some new topics in this season. I'm so ready to have some new conversations. I am lining up some new guests. I am also just going through like a huge transformation. So this whole week has just been crazy. Like I just want to say, like, Sunday was my 1 year anniversary of being a full-time entrepreneur. If you guys know, you know. And then August 1st was the 1 year anniversary of this podcast. So we launched this podcast August 1st last year, 2023, and here we are a year later. I want to say that I'm just really grateful for everyone who has been continuing to tune in, continuing to share the podcast, anyone who's taken a minute to rate and review the podcast. Before we get into today's conversation, I do want to ask that if you are a listener and you are consistently, tuning into these episodes, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, I want to invite you please to rate and review the podcast. This is going to help me in my next year of growth with the podcast. I'm really excited to just continue to just elevate and expand the podcast, grow it in an organic way. Like, it's really important for me to continue to just show up authentically as myself. Like, that's really just the point of, let's just be real, right? To show up as my real self and really just showing up, like keeping it as real as I can here, and while still trying to protect like my privacy as a Scorpio, right? And not like put it all out there. There are still so many things that like I want to share with you guys. I feel like this season right now, everything that I'm going through, I'm not ready to share just yet, but like I know that everything that's happening right now, like it's going to help someone in the future, when I'm able to like really explain and really understand too, like the things that I'm going through. Cause right now I'm still trying to like make sense of it. But one thing that I learned is like there are no mistakes in the universe. Like everything is always happening right on time for us, for our best interest, even when it doesn't seem that way. So today I really want to talk about embracing change and preparing for the next chapter of your life. So we are currently not just in season 3, but we are in the second half of 2024. And we have 5 months left of this year. And I want to invite you and encourage you to really think about where you want to be this time next year. Like, this is a really good time to start thinking about where you want to be within the next year, right? Because time goes by so freaking fast. And when we don't have things like on our radar, and when we aren't clear and we aren't specific about where we're going or, what we truly want, like it's going to be hard to just finesse it. Yeah, that's cool sometimes to just go with the flow, but also like you need a vision. You need a vision. So what I'm doing this month is like really sitting down and getting clear on like my next steps. Like, what do I want out of my life? Like, where do I see this business going? Where do I see this podcast going? Who's the person I want to become? Where do I want to live within the next year? Like right now there's a lot of decisions that I'm being forced to make. And not that I want to put so much pressure on you to make these huge, life-changing decisions. You might not be in that season of your life, but I know that summer is a time where like a lot of people just like slack off or just forget about their goals. And, they're just like going out, partying, drinking, going to the beach, going on vacation, ignoring like all the serious stuff. But come September, it's like, we don't want to be in this like rat race of feeling like we need to catch up and we need to get our life back on track. And, oh my God, what was I doing the past like 3 months, right? So I want to encourage you now, take advantage of the time that feels a little bit more like at ease or a little bit more slow, right? So for me, like my business in the summer tends to slow down. So this is a time of like deep reflection for me. Have the things that I've been doing the past year, especially like with these milestones, like have the things that I've been doing the past year, are they taking me to where I want to be? Are they really like making a difference in my life, and not only my life, but other people's life? Because most of my job is serving, right? I serve people, and I'm not talking about a restaurant. I'm talking about like serving the general public, the community, right? Serving this community, showing up, sharing my voice, sharing my experience, sharing my wisdom, sharing my knowledge, sharing my talent, sharing my body, right? Being able to provide spaces in my retreats for people to heal, for people to grow, for people to restore, relax, all those things, right? So my job is service. I consider myself being in the service industry. So if I'm not thinking about what I'm doing and how I'm intentionally showing up in these spaces, it kind of just puts me in a place where I'm just coasting. And I'm someone, I don't know about you, but I'm just someone that like, I don't like to just coast. Like I need to have a plan. I need to know what's happening. What changes should I make in my life? What's not working? What is working? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to encourage you, like, use this time. It's a new month. Like we are in Leo season. Also, the good thing about Leo season is like, this is a time to really shine, right? If you're someone that's into astrology, I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of these posts. Two people that I would recommend if you want more information about like the astrology. Actually, I'll give you three people. So one of them is Lara. She was on my podcast a couple of months ago. You can go back. I don't even know what number episode it was, but I will link it in the show notes. But that was a really, really good conversation. She also does consultations. I did a consultation with her. So she could definitely give a more specific type reading with you and talk about your birth chart specifically, but also, you know, just for more broad astrology and what's going on in the world, I would recommend the Shani app. And even if you don't get her app, you could listen to her podcast. So her podcast is called Astrology for the Week Ahead with Shani Nicholas. Really good podcast. She explains everything. I've been listening to her for a couple months. And then also there's Chris Corsini on Instagram, which a lot of the girls that I know follow him as well. And he'll do individual horoscope readings for your specific sign. So when we think about Leo season, it's the end of summer. Leos, you know, I love my Leos, but like everything is about them. Like everything is about them. Leos, like they are not afraid to show up and show out, honey. Okay. They will show up in a room. They're going to take the spotlight. Okay. They're going to show up loud and proud. So we want to tap more into like that energy for the month of August. Like now is the time for you to tap into that main character energy. Okay. That's what I'm tapping into. Like, I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of, you know, always waiting for other people to do things with me or feeling like, you know, I need to wait until I feel ready. You know, like I'm over that season of my life. I'm ready to just show up fully. And some of you could be like watching this or listening to this and you're like, what are you talking about, girl? Like you're always showing up 100%. Like I see you on Instagram. One thing that I've learned is that the perception of other people doesn't always match up to our own beliefs or thoughts about ourselves. So a lot of people might see certain things or the ways that I show up on Instagram, you know, on my personal, on my business pages, whatever, and assume this life, right? Assume things about me, assume all of these things, assume where I am in my life, assume that I'm super successful, you know? And it's great, you know, it's great to have other people think highly of you. And I definitely think highly of myself. You know, I am a confidence coach and I preach having confidence and high self-worth and really like knowing your value. But at the same time, like everybody knows where they are personally at, you know? So I know where I'm personally at. I know where I personally want to be. I know the things that I need to do in order for me to get to that place. And while to someone else, it could look like I'm doing the absolute most or I'm doing my absolute best, I know that there's always potential to do better. I know just like from a reflection of everything going on in my life, like it's time to show up bigger and better. It's time to, you know, release some of the habits and the cycles and the negative thoughts, you know? So I'm just ready to transform. So I want to encourage you to get a piece of paper, get your journal, get your notes app. This is the perfect time, okay? Within the first couple days of the month, we have a new moon coming up. New moon is a perfect time to set intentions as well, okay? So write down your intentions, get clear. I love doing this on the first of the month. I literally write in my journal my intentions, and intentions and goals, they could be the same, okay? You could either call it a goal or you could call it an intention, or you could just blend them in together, okay? That's what I do. But get clear, okay? Now is not the time to just be floating around, wishing and hoping. And I almost hate that there's been this big emphasis on being delusional. And yes, like I do believe that you have to be delusional to an extent, but I also believe that a lot of people are out here getting sold on this whole, oh, be delusional. Just, you just have to imagine that it's going to happen. You just have to, think that it's going to happen. You just have to hope that it's going to happen. Yeah, that's great. You could hope and wish and pray, and absolutely. Absolutely. Part of manifestation, I do believe, is like being able to visualize, being able to see yourself in that future predicament, in your future self, in that future body, in that future job, in that future house. You have to be able to see it, right? You have to be able to believe that it's possible, but you also have to take that action. I talk about this so much on this podcast, and I'm not yelling at y'all, I'm yelling at myself. Okay, like you got to take the action. You have to align your visions with the action. What are the small steps I could take every day to get to the place where I want to be? We can't just wait for someone to show up like a fairy godmother or someone who's going to save us. People will save you. I do believe that like you can definitely have people to come in and save you, but like, do you want to just be that person like constantly sitting around waiting for people to come and save you, to get you out of a bad situation, to encourage you to do better? I think that pushing yourself and believing in yourself and knowing your worth, knowing your value, knowing what you are capable of, knowing and understanding your potential sounds so much better than waiting for someone to come and shake you up and tell you like you have to do this. You are meant for this. This is what you want, right? Sometimes, yes, we do need that extra push, but like, do we want to keep doing that and living and reliving those cycles? Or do we want to be a self-starter? Do we want to be someone who takes charge of our lives? Do we want to be someone who makes shit happen for ourselves, right? So I want you to think about that today, okay? This is your homework for this weekend or whenever you're listening to this, hopefully in the month of August. And I hope that you are having a beautiful summer. Have you been wanting to take a heels class for the longest time, but either you don't have heels classes in your area or you've just been too shy to sign up for that class and go for it? Well, I'm super excited to announce that we are officially online. We have heels classes for everyone and anyone, and you can take them any and everywhere. This has been a long time coming. I know so many of you guys have asked if we have online classes, and we are so excited to announce that our classes are now digital. And we have a specific heels fundamentals workshop that you can check out and really get into your heels bag. And the best part about this program is you're not just jumping into a heels class. You're not just jumping into choreography. You will have a full heels fundamentals beginner course where you're able to learn the basics, the fundamentals, how to walk in your heels, your lines, your shapes, how to feel fluid in your body, how to use your core so that you can feel stable and you don't feel like you're wobbling in your heels every single time. And yes, you might wobble the first 1 or 2 classes, and that's completely normal. But the best part about this is that you can work at your own pace. So you can break up your modules, do 1 module a day. You can repeat them. The heels program also comes with core and flexibility training, which is what we need to succeed in heels. We have to have have a nice, strong, and solid core. And we also need to work on our flexibility so that we can hit those moves and feel nice and sexy and fluid. So if this sounds like something that you're trying to get into this year and you're ready to step into the baddie that you're meant to be, I invite you guys to go check out our Rhythm and Pumps online heels training program 1.0. Okay, be a founding member, get your price locked in, because honey, we are going to blow up this year. I'm telling y'all, and I'm manifesting this right now. So check it out. $19.99 per month. You guys can cancel at any time if this isn't your thing, if it's not working out for you, if you're not really into it. Cancel at any time. No hidden fees, no contracts. Go to our website, www.realrhythmdanceandfitness.com. Head on over to the On Demand tab and check out our memberships. You will not regret it. Looking forward to seeing you. Again, I just want to mention the retreat that we have coming up. So we literally just announced our second retreat for 2025. So we're going to be going to Arizona, and this retreat is going to be really special because our very first retreat was in Arizona in 2022. And now we're going back. I'm revamping the entire retreat. This is going to be my third time in Arizona, and I'm really excited for this one. A little bit more focused on transformation, becoming a better person, having more of like a spiritual connection, more of a connection to nature, to earth. Sedona is a really special place. If you guys know anything about like sacred land or the vortexes, like it's basically a place where you go to receive energy, right? Or you go to receive messages from God, from the universe. So this is going to be a specially curated retreat for people who are really looking to change their lives, to change their self-concept, to deepen their spiritual connection, their relationship with God or the universe, or people who just want to prioritize their health and wellness. Like this is the perfect retreat for that. Sedona is the perfect place for that. And I'm really excited because we're going to be spending 2 nights in Sedona and then 2 nights in Scottsdale, Phoenix area. So both beautiful areas. I'm really excited because our last retreat, we didn't get to spend much time in Sedona. It was more of like a day trip. So we will be spending more time there. March is also like a really beautiful time to go. The weather's really good. It's kind of mild. It's not too hot. So if you're interested, I will leave the link to the wait list in the show notes, and you guys can add yourself to the wait list if you're interested in the Phoenix Rising Retreat in Arizona. That's going to be March 13th through the 17th. And if you're interested in attending Greece for the Goddess Retreat, May 7th to the 13th, you guys can go ahead and register for that. Registration is fully open. The waitlist is closed, so registration is open to the general public. We do have our early bird sale that ends this Sunday, so you guys can use the code Empower1 to get $150 off your booking for the Goddess Retreat. Really excited to step into this next year. I know like I'm not rushing the year. I'm really not rushing 2024. Like there's still so much to do, but I just know that 2025 is going to be beautiful and transformative. And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you, no matter where you are. I know we have listeners from all over the world. So again, I just want to thank you for your support. If you've been listening from day one, thank you so much. If you're just tuning into the podcast, if you just came across, drop a comment on Spotify or YouTube. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what topics you want to hear in this next season 3. Also, if you know anybody who you want to see on the podcast as a guest, shoot me a DM on the Let's Just Be Real pod Instagram account, and I'll definitely look into that. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another episode. Bye.